Wow, that's all that I can say for the first episode of season 2 for Squid Games. I don't know whether to make this a review, a summary, but you come here to hear about something of it from me. Well, the first sequence was I made a mistake with not watching season 1, but I'll go back and do it because this has been very interesting so far. Basically, Sung is looking for the guy that put him in the game all those years ago. And he has 45 billion won because he decided to get very lucky and somehow win. Now then, let's calculate what 45 billion won to USD is. That's $30 million and $800,000. That's 30. That's 30 million and 800,000. That's, oh boy, that motherfucker's ballin'. But basically, he decided to spend the last few years trying to find this guy that put him in those games all those years ago. To just ask the makers, ask these people. He's just trying to find them, to just talk to them, to just see why they do this type of stuff to innocent people, you know? And things start culminating because, well, the police, there's this officer, shoot, I'm sorry I forgot the name, but as I keep doing this series, I'll be able to remember the names better. All I can say is that basically Sung hired the people that he was in debt to, $1 billion won, which, let's come back over here and let's calculate 1 billion won to USD because you know it's Korean. That would basically be $684,000. Holy shit. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money, dog. But basically he says, I already paid off the debt and I'm going to pay you some more if you can help me find this guy. And within the first episode, I think after 2 to 3 years, they basically find this guy because he gave a description, this, that, and the other third. And we cut away to just like another segment to where this certain police officer is trying to find Sung, or just he's trying to piece together these clues to basically find out what happened. And he had got shot in his shoulder, which was, you know, fucked up, but still, excuse me for that. He's just trying to piece things together as well because, you know, the games and stuff like that were just, they were messed up. Sure, it was a high risk gamble, but you stood at everything to win. Now the boss and this other guy that he officiated his wedding, his other guy, they find the business guy that they were looking for, but just they follow him to the ends of the earth and they alert Sung to basically just go like, hey, we found this guy, come over and help us get him. And they make the brash decision. They make the very, very brash decision to just go up and run up on this guy. And essentially, they didn't wear no shiesties, no nothing, no any of that stuff. Now, the revolver that I have in my hand right here is very important, but for different purposes. Basically, they thought that, oh yeah, it's a 2-on-1. What's that guy gonna do? They get their stuff rocked by a tall businessman. But the business guy, before then, he's basically doing the same thing. Because when they found him, he was playing the same game called Dokchi. I think that's how it's called. And offering people the Squid Game offer. So, he basically beats the daylights out of the two guys that found him. And to make things even worse, he makes them play rock, paper, scissors with 2 hands. So, I'm going to put this down for a second, right? They make them play rock, paper, scissors like this, right? Now, you can play with me if you want to. Let's just say you want to throw whatever, and he says -1, which means you take away whichever hand that you want, and if that other person decides to just, let's just say, like, this is the other hand, and you had rock, paper, whatever in your other hand, you can't swap to it, but just you're evening out your odds. Now, what you can do is within that split second, you can just go, all right, I choose to throw rock. Now, if you throw double rock, oh boy. And then there's also another rule to where if you don't throw out either hand, you're disqualified. Now, keep in mind, the entire time, the loser has to play Russian roulette. And that's whenever the revolver comes in. And things get real dicey at that point. Basically, he puts one in the chamber at first. Your survival odds are 5 out of 6, but your chances of being shot are 1 out of 6. Basically, they keep living. They keep throwing down over and over. Nobody gets shot. So the business guy gets very upset. And you know he then decides to do? Let's speed this up. Let's make it 5 out of 6. Now keep in mind, these two guys, sure, they could have jumped him and everything, but they're chained, they're ball gagged, and ooh-wee, the boss ends up getting shot. The boss that was over Sung's debt and everything, he ends up getting shot in the head. Then the episode cuts to where the police officer keeps investigating, and he's on to Sung and some other things, but to the extent that we know, not fully, but it's getting there. Now Sung comes back to his apartment, his motel, the Pink Motel, and boy, do things get real dicey, because the businessman basically goes, you should have left in that plane all those years ago. And they basically have a chit chat over human nature, this, that, and the other stuff, basically going, oh, you think you're special, oh, you think you're this, that, and the other third. And they play Russian roulette. Yeah, except for Russian roulette, where you don't... I forgot to mention that whenever they were doing that rock, paper, scissors beat, every time that the bullet didn't go, they basically reset the chamber by taking the bullet out and then putting it back in. With this one, they put one bullet there into the chamber, and you had to keep going no matter what. So basically, they spun it like this. Don't worry, this is on the safety, I promise. This is genuinely on the safety. They spun it around. Sorry, I shouldn't be pointing it at me. Jesus, yeah, gun safety. Jesus. But they spun it around like this. Yeah, gun safety. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry for giving y'all a heart attack and myself. Jesus. Oh boy. But they keep spinning the gun over and over and over and over until it finally lands on someone. And you know what made me realize something? Whoever got the gun first basically survived. Because if you think about it, if the gun didn't go off on the first or the third or the fifth time, you were guaranteed survival. Now the person who got the gun second, you can obviously tell where this is going. I'm not going to treat you like a child, no nothing. I'm assuming that you're intelligent, and I hope you are. Now then, let's take a quick water break, because this is whenever things get very intense. Ooh-wee. But the gun, basically, at the fifth shot, the guy says, hey, you know, you got a 1 out of 2 chance of dying, and you could kill me, this and the other stuff, but you got to admit to me one thing. You are a worthless piece of trash. You aren't special, you're just lucky. So the guy then basically puts the gun up to his head and says, you know what? I could kill you. I could just bang bang 2 times. I could do this and the other third, but I won't give you the satisfaction of being an asshole. And he says, he basically shoots the gun. It doesn't go off, and he says, you could kill me. You could do this, that, and the third, but you got to admit, you're nothing but Master's little lapdog. And the guy, the business guy, grabs the gun and proceeds to just accepts his fate and goes, I ain't going out like no bitch, and goes bang, and it ends like that. Sorry. Oh boy. Sorry for that delay. My headset likes to be bipolar like me sometimes. Basically, that episode it was a great. Like I said, I haven't watched season one yet, but after I get done watching season two, I'm gonna go back and watch it, and I feel like it left off on a cliffhanger or something like that, or just like, dang. No, 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 it didn't end off on a cliffhanger. It was just like, wait, no, I think it did. But it's a great start to basically just this guy's getting back and all of this again, and I want to see to what extent he goes with all of this, because it's just, will he win again if he does decide to get into these games again, or just he's already, because whenever the guy basically offed himself, he said, I already got the keys, I got this, that, and the other third, you can get it off of me, you do whatever you want, whatever you need with it. Now I'm roped in because it's just, I want to know why the creators of the Squid Games basically sat there and said, yeah, we're going to make you play kids games, and if you suck at them, death. I just want to know why all of this is just transpiring. In the meantime, I'm going to go watch episode 2, and let's see where this rabbit hole goes. Also, please stay safe and don't forget to take care of yourself. Times are already rough and tough as it is nowadays.